Coming into the Titan site.
Welcome to the Titan 2 site, and I do see cameras. Take all the pictures you like, topside down below. First one, name, rank, crew number, something verifiable, and electronically all the doors, the gates are controlled from down below. So if that first phone call was acceptable, that front gate would be electronically unlocked. Once inside, gate closed and locked, the commander had 3 minutes, no more. Get down to the bottom of these steps, make phone call number 2. Anything over 3 minutes, security breach. No bells and whistles went off, they just stayed locked down, called security, come in, check out the situation. If everything was okay, this first door that we'll be going through would be electronically unlocked, and the commander only would step into the entrapment area. Nothing more than a big cage. We'll walk through it. It's a short flight of steps connecting 2 doors, and those 2 doors.
Come on in.
The size of that door.
You look to me like a strong How would you like to give me a hand with this door? Come on over here, grab a hold. Both hands. Don't jerk. Just lean against it now. Lean back against it and just tug with all your weight. There we go. How about that? How about that?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, good job. I got the right one. That's good. I got the right one that time. Oh, that's far enough.
She's
We're going back
strong.
the other way now. Okay. How much do you think that door weighs? Any of you?
About 3 tons?
You got it right. Right on 6,000 pounds, and that little gal moved every bit of it too. It's not counterbalanced. It's not on wheels. John comes out here once a year, squirts a little grease on those hinges. That's about the only maintenance it gets. We think it's just a little indication of the type of engineering and construction that went into the building of these sites. And then you look at something like this, all that slack. Does that look like a sloppy wiring job? Well, that's done by design. Those motor control panels are mounted on springs inside of those steel canisters. They're free to bounce up and down in response to external forces, but that slack's going to keep those connections intact. From this point on in, everything that's launch critical is mounted on springs or shocks. Take a look at the lights in here, hanging in here on springs. Now, as we go into the control center, we cross over a little bridge. That bridge spans an 11-inch space there where the floor and the wall don't meet. We call it the rattle space. Tell you more about inside. So follow me, watch your step.
All the light fixtures on springs.
Sounds like some engineer I know to think of.
Yeah. God, it's a maze here. Must be about 50 feet that direction. We're going about 25 feet this direction. There's a control room.
How about you? Are you able to lift your arm up? Are you able to lift your arm up in the air like that?
Paddle ports
Thank
here.
you for volunteering.
There are no springs on these lights.
Have a seat.
Excite lights. My favorite brand.
You're going to be my commander. Just don't push any buttons yet. Outside, I told you that everything was launch critical is mounted on springs or shocks. Remember that? Look around in here, all this stuff looks pretty launch critical, but it also looks pretty well bolted down. Lay light. We're on level 2 of a very unique 3-level structure. This entire 3-floor building is suspended inside a hardened steel and concrete dome, just like a giant bird cage. We're hanging in here on each set of these coil springs. Here's what they did was shock isolate the whole 3-floor building.
Red in his car.
Bounce up and down or back and forth. It's the reason for that rattle space. The crew and all equipment in here is protected. Level above us, crew's quarters, bunk bed, small kitchen, lavatory, pretty spartan. Level below us was an equipment room, incoming power. There are 2 huge 28-volt direct current batteries down there, each one about the size of this console. We'll talk a little more about those later. Most of this underground area was called a no-loan zone. No one individual was ever permitted to occupy any of these spaces by him or herself. Not only the buddy-buddy system, but the big brother system. We constantly have someone over their shoulder. Now, the four-person crew consisted of a commander, a captain, or a major, normally occupied this console. Hey, commander, you can't run off and leave me. Deputy commander, first or second lieutenant, was in charge of security and communications. We also had two highly trained enlisted personnel. The things were happening, they'd be up in front of these panels. One was called red box over here, called an EWO, safe, emergency water safe. Contains the keys for the launch and the information necessary to decode the launch message should one ever arrive. Now, there's nothing in that safe that by itself will allow the crew, or anybody else for that matter, to launch that missile. Each commander and each deputy commander had their own combination lock. They were the only person who knew the combination of their lock. When the new crew arrived in the morning, the old crew removed their locks, the contents were inventory, and returned to the safe. Then the new crew put the locks on the safe. Two people that have to agree to get into that safe. Radio racks behind me, termination of all those antennas that John showed you upstairs, controls they use to raise and lower the pop-up antennas, monitoring the entrapment area between two up above. It's an 8-day hand-wound clock. Now it's called the launch clock. It's set to Greenwich Mean Time. 7 hours different than our local time zone up here. The military refers to this as Zulu time. All military operations worldwide were conducted on Zulu time, so nobody has to make any allowances for the various time zones. Two primary alert speakers for the deputy, two more for the commander, one of each of these attached to 15th Air Force, Riverside, California, the other Strategic Air Command, Omaha, Nebraska, where a launch message would have been heard should one ever arrive. Now, everything in this launch critical in this complex has an input into this commander's console. These lights are all kind of like the lights on your automobile. Bottom row monitors the status of the missile facility. The center row monitors the missile and its guidance system. Top row, key to the right monitors the launch sequence. These are communications. Key to the left monitors target selection. Each missile has pre-programmed into its memory 3 targets. I can only go to one, a single warhead missile. Our primary target at this site was target number 2, so that's normally where that would have been set at all times. The crews did not know, nor did they want to know, nor do we know today, the geographic location of 16 possible codes.
With the launch codes there, turn that
Pretty
pedal,
good odds.
the valve.
The Air Force wanted better. They put a device on that valve called a TRIAS counter, cumulative counter. That means throughout the life of that valve, today, tomorrow, next year, you have 6 tries, 6 incorrect codes up here. 7th try is when the right code will work. That valve is frozen up solid, requires reprogramming. And that would mean the missile is off alert. And the code to unlock it is not kept in that safe. It's nowhere on the premises. So what do we have to do to launch this big thing? The commander, I'm going to need some help here in a minute. Are you going to help me? Commander be seated at her console, the deputy at his, independently of each other. They each listen to an incoming message over their own sets of speakers. They both get the same message coming out from numeric letters and numbers. Each write it down exactly as they heard it in their top secret code books. In exchange and compare, they have to agree that they have both heard written down exactly the same thing and that they have a valid message. They would then go to the EWO safe and move their locks, get out the keys for the launch, and the information necessary to decode this message they've just received. Now, when they do this, they've got everything they need to launch. They've got an authentication code. That'll assure the crew. Right. What are you chuckling about? You got a little catch in my throat. You want to do the launch, John?
Yeah, I'll do it. Been a while.
Yeah, it has.
Okay, when after they had decoded their incoming launch order, go to the EWO safe, remove their individual locks, getting out a deck of authenticator cards and launch keys. And, excuse me, they copied down the numbers and letters, and I think he covered this. They checked each other's work. Then, there were 4 items that came out of that decoding. One, they verified that this was an authentic launch order from the President of the United States. Secondly, the butterfly valve lock code would be entered up there by the sergeants. Third, time of launch. Take the grease pencil and write on the face of the launch clock. 5 minutes, 5 hours, sometime tomorrow. Fourth, commander breaks the seal and inserts her launch key there. Deputy does the same thing with his over here. These are spring-loaded to the closed position. They have to be turned within 2 seconds of each other, held for 5 in order to have a launch. It's very significant that one person cannot do that. It takes 2 to tango. Can you understand me okay? Huh? A little bit? Okay, your mother can help you then. I'm going to give you a count of 3, 2, 1 launch. And on launch, push the key in, turn it all the way to the right, hold it till I tell you to release and sit back, okay? We're ready to launch. 3, 2, 1, launch. Turn, hold, 4, 3, 2. Very good. You just helped start something, we can't stop it. There are no oops buttons on here. Launch enable means we have the proper code in here. Batteries activated. 2 dry batteries on board the Missile, now getting electrolyte force fed into them. In 28 seconds, they're going to be fully charged, no longer needing power from us. We'll get an APS accessory power supply light denoting such. Meanwhile, that big 760-ton door is coming open. As it opens, it's going to break the tipsy. We'll get a tipsy alarm. We'll also get a silo soft light. And that's the only way we know that door is open and we're vulnerable to attack. Guidance go light is also now on. The guidance system is locked in, no longer taking direction from us. It knows where it's going, how to get there. Very shortly, we're going to get a fire engine light accompanied by a loud Claxton horn. Flashing red lights will denote the fires have been detected on the silo itself. And as that engine builds to 77% of full thrust, the 4 explosive nuts on that thrust mount shatter, and we have liftoff. Total actual time, turnkey to liftoff, 58 seconds. 30 to 35 minutes later, based on a 6,000-mile target. Target 2 does not exist. Crew, meanwhile, has closed the silo door, tries to communicate with the outside world to find out what the situation is. There's a 30-day supply of food, water, and recirculated air designed to last for the 30-day period. Now, the crews did not know, nor do we know today, the geographical location of any of these targets, nor could they communicate with that missile in any way once they turned those keys. If we could, possibly the enemy could, the last thing we wanted was that sucker turned around and sent back to us. Now, just a couple of things before we go down to the silo and see if we still have a missile to show you. The crew had the crew launched, and we're still down here at the end of the 30-day period. They would have to make a very deliberate decision. Stay down here and suffocate or go upstairs to an unknown world. Thankfully, they never had to make that decision. Deterrence worked, deterrence kept the peace. Now, I'm going to talk to your mother. Be sure she understands. Because if you accidentally launch, you guys have a good credit card. Well, let's see, we take Franks also. Are you, I guess it's ever open was when people were going out or coming back because they had to maintain a 60-degree temperature out there, 60 degree plus or minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Why? The oxidizer. The oxidizer would gel at 54 degrees. More importantly, it boils at around 70 degrees. Very critical temperature. And that's why you had to definitely keep that at that critical temperature at all times. Now, also, Ray and I talked quite a bit about shock isolation and shock absorbers, springs. Point is, because of all the shock isolation built into this entire structure, just now in the control room, you felt and heard about what you would have felt and heard had there been an actual launch. Really no change. And we don't need your euros or credit card. We've still got a Missile. Okay, folks, we're going to move around to your left. There are 2 windows installed by the museum. There's not enough room for everybody to get a continuous look, so if you will, please step up, get your pictures, get a good look at the Missile and the launch duct, then step back and let your friend have a peek. Tell you a bit more about this place. Come on.
There's the Missile right there. What's he doing in there?
Screwing around like this.
Cool.
You are looking at a real Missile. It's serial number 10, manufactured by Martin Marietta, Denver, Colorado. This particular Missile was used to train all the Titan II crews. It's never been fueled, and consequently does make it a very good museum piece. But you look up on the Missile, you very obviously see where the re-entry vehicle attaches to the Stage 2. Right at eye level, where Charlie and Charlotte are, is Stage 2 with the guidance and computer systems in it. Then looking down below between the O and the R in force, there's also a change in coloration. Here's a separation point between Stage 2 and Stage 1. Now this facility was built in 28 months. Took a little over 3 years to complete all 54 in the 3 states. They were designed for a 10-year life. Actually, this one was online almost 20. A few even approached 24 in other states. So it's well more than double payback for this particular insurance policy. Now the Titan II was also the vehicle for our very successful Gemini space program, which started in the early 60s. This is the one that got us orbiting, spacewalking, docking, kneeling to space sitting on top of the Titan II. When they closed this program down, after salvage operations, they destroyed the... Yeah, there it is.
Hello, my name is Anthony Vidana, and I took a trip to Tucson, Arizona, and I went down and visited the Titan Missile site that they had there. I found it to be very interesting, and the tour was very detailed, as I expected. It was more than I expected, so I really enjoyed this trip and this tour too. So if you get a chance to go to this place, I recommend it wholeheartedly. And that's near the end of the video. Thank you and goodbye.